Hey guys! I promised this video to you last week, and July 4th got in the way and everything, and I got really busy, and so now I'm going to get to your letters. I'm getting a lot of emails with a lot of different questions, and a lot of the same questions. So I'm going to try to address everybody and get all your questions answered. So my first one is from Prototype81 and Matt Shad White. And first off, let me just go ahead and apologize if I mispronounce anybody's tag. You guys are asking how old am I? I'm 24. I just turned 24 this past May 18th. I'm a May baby. That does make me a Taurus. And I love having my birthday in May because I love sunshine, and May is usually a pretty hot month. So yeah. The next one comes from J. Rogers 36, Prototype 81, Mad Shad White, Drew 22522, and Ultimate Retro Gamer 87. You guys want to know what kind of games I like? Pretty much I'll play just about everything, and I'll try anything, except for I don't like racing sims like Gran Turismo. I much rather play racing arcade games like Burnout. I think Burnout is my favorite racing game of all time. I also don't play sports games. I don't want to do Madden or NCAA, not because they're bad games, but because I suck at them so bad that I've just kind of given up. Other than that, I think my favorite genres are action-adventure, which I would throw in the Uncharted series, Grand Theft Auto, God of War, Prince of Persia. I also love shooters, more along the lines of BioShock. I love Time Splitters, adore Time Splitters. You know, I'm not a big Halo fan. I know a lot of you guys are instantly going to click off, and that's fine, but I don't get the personality of Halo. I don't know, I think it's very dull. I guess I have to say, it's just not my kind of game, that's all. I have played all of them, and I do play them sometimes with friends online, but as far as playing them on my own, not so much. I did love Gears, though. I'd have to say that Gears is, in my opinion, better than Halo. Don't crucify me, that's just my opinion. Of course, I also like the cute little kid games or girl games like The Sims and Animal Crossing. And I love Mario games. Yeah, I definitely love survival horror. I'm sure if you guys have been watching this at all, you know that I love Silent Hill, Fatal Frame. I'd say Condemned would definitely be a survival horror. The scarier and the darker the game, the more blood in a game, the more I'm gonna like it. Verbarmai asks, have you played all the games you have? I have not. There's actually some games in my collections that I have not gotten around to. Some of them, I think, like Folklore for the PS3 is one that have been sitting there and I really want to play it, but I just haven't got the time. Either another game comes out that I'm kind of interested in more, or I'm still working on something else, or then like an arcade game comes out that I want to check out. So I do have games in my collection I have not played. And I know, shame on me, but I am going to get to those. I definitely will one of these days. Medux87 wants to know my opinion on SOCOM 4 moving in a different direction. Honestly, I've given up on SOCOM. I used to actually be a beta tester for SOCOM, and being a beta tester can really burn you out on a game series really, really quickly. Because basically you're just playing something to try to break it, and although that sounds fun, it really does burn you out if you're stuck in a particular series. And I did like SOCOM at the beginning of its lifespan, but it's not the same game to me anymore, and maybe that's because I feel like they have been too much of the same thing over and over again, so I have been burnt out from them. Maybe moving in a different direction is a good idea, but in my opinion, when a series moves too far away from its original direction, then it's kind of like, why not just make a new series then? Like, why call this game SOCOM, just using it as an example, I'm not saying this is how it is, but why say, oh, this is a SOCOM game if it's completely not anything like the original SOCOMs? Then you should just make a new series or title altogether. But since I don't know much about SOCOM 4, I do know that they are moving in a new direction. I do know a lot of fans are upset by that. I really can't speak too much of my opinion because I don't know enough on it to really give you much. Clank24 wants to know, when the new Tomb Raider comes out, could you please do a review on it? A new Tomb Raider, really? I'm not a big Tomb Raider fan. I never have been. I always thought the controls were awful. Just terrible, terrible controls. Terrible, like, camera. And yeah, it had a hot chick that, if you knew the right combination, you could make her climb up things kind of interesting. But to me, I could never get into them. And now that Uncharted 2 or Uncharted came out and completely dominated everything that any Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones game could ever want to do, I feel, why go back? Like, if Uncharted has completely perfected that kind of gameplay, I don't need to go back to a game I really didn't like in the first place. But, I don't know, maybe if it gets really good reviews and people are like, wow, this is pretty awesome, I'll give it a try, and then I'll shoot up a review. But if it's just getting subpar reviews and most people, even fans, aren't into it, chances are I'm not going to play it because, yeah, I'm not a Tomb Raider fan. Satan's 2003 and Tweako4 wants to know if I could do a little review on which consoles I prefer and why. That's really interesting because that's a great way to start debate, and that's a great way to get the fanboys to come out of the woodworks and completely destroy me. But sure, why not? Let's talk about my favorite consoles. I have got to say right now, I'm playing the 360 most. I play my 360 for all the games that aren't first-party PS3 or first-party Wii. Why? Because I think the 360 is a superior online community. I think Xbox Live is amazing. I love how they do everything. Getting people into a party and using that chat to go into a game or bring everybody into that party into a game is really seamless and works really well. I also love the achievements. I don't think that PS3's achievements or trophy aspect is really that good at all. It kind of actually doesn't do anything for me. I think the PS3's message system is extremely flawed. I think the way that you pull people into games on the PS3 is very flawed. I have no interest in the PS3 Plus. Why pay for demos and beta access? And why get a game for free if when I cancel my subscription I lose all the games that they gave me? That just that ruins the whole experience for me. So PS3, I do agree that it is a superior system as far as what it can do. We saw that with Uncharted 2. That game was superior to anything the 360 has had on it. I'm just talking about how the game runs and the graphic level. The 360 cannot top that. At least we haven't seen it. So I know the PS3 is superior as far as how it runs, but not a lot of developers are really grasping that or using it to its full advantage because the PS3 is a bitch to develop for. The Wii I use just basically for my party games and my Mario games, and of course my first party games. I don't do a lot of motion control on the Wii. I could care less about motion control, but I do enjoy a Wii game every now and then. Shriek200 wants to know, actually has a few questions. First one is, how might he go about getting into the game industry? Depends on what you want to do. If you want to do art, then you go to school for that. If you want to develop, you go to school for that. If you want to write, I suggest you definitely take some writing classes. There's a lot of bad writers out there, even in this industry, that have jobs right now in this industry. I'm not going to call out any websites, but some people need a proofread before they put stuff up. So I would suggest kind of honing in on your writing craft, and then check out some sites that allow you to have blogs. I know 1UP and bitmob.com both are really good about seeing their community blogs, and they'll pull you out and maybe even publish something you've done if your writing's up to par and it's interesting. But most of all, if you're going to start writing in the game industry, a lot of us gamers have short attention span, so don't write a 5-page lengthy review. We just want to know your opinions, quick and short. Let us know the goods, the bads, and why you liked it or didn't like it. That's all we need. We don't need an essay. Another question was, do you buy your own games or do they supply them for you? Yes and no. It depends. If I'm going to be reviewing a game for a company, then they will supply me with that game. But most of the time I do purchase my own games. I'm not really into the whole getting everything for free. I know there's a lot of people in this industry that kind of expect everything for free. They think they should get every game for free. I disagree. I think if you are not covering a game, if you're not actually going to be working on that game for review or anything like that, then you shouldn't be getting it for free. That's just my opinion. So yes, I do actually buy a lot of my own games. Do I make enough to compensate for the price of games? That's another thing about working in the industry. It doesn't pay that well. So I do write for several different sites So it's not like I have a one job here, because then I might not make enough. But the fact that I do write for several different sites, I've written for GamePro magazine and website. You can find some of my latest stuff on GameZone, and I also write occasionally for Machinima, and I've been published in EGM. So when I can write for several different sites at once with different reviews, then I can make, I guess, a little bit more. So sometimes I can compensate to pay for all my games, sometimes I can't. So I'm reaching the 10-minute mark on this one, so we're going to do a Respond to Your Letters Part 2. So if I haven't gotten to your question yet, then check out my Part 2, which I'll upload right after this, and I'll make sure I get to it.